Real quick before this video starts, I just want to give a massive thank you to Rodemar for editing this reaction. He also edited the Black Country New Road reaction when that album came out not too long ago, so I greatly appreciate it. Link to his Album of the Year account in the description. As always, these videos are not meant to give objective criticisms, just for me to share my opinion and to receive yours in return to create some interesting discourse, so please let me know what you think of this album down below, and subscribe if you haven't. We are on our way to 3K. Hello everyone, welcome to the Human Reviews channel, and today we have been sent in Doolittle by the Pixies. This is an iconic, classic album. Everyone's heard this album. Everyone loves this album except that one guy who gave it a 1 out of 10 on Album of the Year. And, yeah, I'm very excited to get into this because everything I've heard off of this album has been absolute heat. Yeah, I've not heard too much from the Pixies. I've heard like a handful of songs, and I've enjoyed basically everything I've heard from them. I think they just make some of the most refreshing, some of the most captivating rock music in this style from their era, and I have complete faith that this album is going to be great because, I mean, the songs I've heard off of it, I've heard What I Bleed, as well as Gouge Away, and I might have also heard the song Here Comes Your Man. I'm not 100% sure if I've heard that or not. But, yeah, based on the fact that I've heard at least 2 of the songs on here and I've loved both of them, I'm expecting this to be fucking amazing. It's also surprisingly short. It's 15 songs in 38 minutes. Like, that's a very, very short length for a 15-track album. So I'm intrigued to see how a lot of these shorter song lengths are going to affect the pacing and how they're going to actually work. Yeah, of course you have to talk about how influential they are, you know, inspiring lots of bands moving into the 90s, like, yeah, Nirvana, Weezer, bands like that, just massive. So some of like the biggest bands from the 90s all basically got their main inspiration from Pixies. So, with that being said, I'm just going to get straight into this. Track 1, Debaser. This is like the most immediate start imaginable. Immediately sucks you in indeed. It's so raw. Who produced this actually? Phil Norton. Also worked with Foo Fighters, from Pixies albums. Okay. He's done Counting Crows as well, huh? Oh yeah? Jesus. Don't look this up on Genius. Okay, I won't. Oh, great transition into Tame. Fantastic opener. What a way to kick off an album. Wow. It's raw. It's angry. It feels so... The song feels like a complete outcry to start the album off on. It's him just screaming his lungs out. It sounded like he's just like in the middle of a completely empty room, just like shouting at the ceiling or something. It does such a great job at setting such a specific, such a already beaten down and dejected tone. And you add on to that these almost heavenly guitars. Don't match, but create such an interesting juxtaposition that is so pretty, but also so fucked at the same time. Everything here is immediately intriguing and not what I expected at all. Yeah, solid 9 on that first song. Pretty undeniably fantastic. Next up we have Tame. Feeling kind of post-punky here. Okay. Huh. You know, talk about how this influenced Nirvana. I thought it was just in like the general production style, but no, this bass line along with the random screaming, even like the almost disco influenced drums, because Dave Grohl had a lot of disco influence. The comparisons are even closer than I expected. Yeah. Wow. You know, for a under 2 minute song, that had so much packed in it. There were parts of that felt post-punky, parts of that were so overbearing and overwhelming. The fact that it came completely out of nowhere, it was just constantly like punching you in the face and then feeling like it was easing you down onto like a nice warm fucking mattress. Again, the push and pull, the absolute insanity is actually handled very well. It feels like this should be a little bit too much and it should like, I don't know, feel very inconsistent, but I don't know. I'm surprised at how much I'm actually enjoying it. I went into this knowing I'd at least like it, but damn. This, the constant back and forth is really interesting. The lyrics are always weird. Yeah, the lyrics, I'm going to be completely honest. I tried, like, picking apart the lyrics of the first song and then looking at the lyrics of that song. I don't think this is going to be a very lyrically focused album. I imagine it's going to be mostly in the sound where this album finds its strong suit, and I'm absolutely fine with that because the sound of this shit is basically perfect. 9.3 on their second song. Waves of Mutilation. You prefer the slowed down version of this song? By a Japanese businessman committing murder. So I say committing murder suicide. Okay, nice. I don't have quite as much to say about that one. That was just a great continuation of the overall feeling and aesthetic of the album. Riffs still went hard as hell. I think the vocals on that one, being as subdued as they are, sounded fantastic. Yeah, it was a short and sweet track. It's a high 8 for me. Still great. Just don't. I'm not quite as impressed by that one as I was the first two. Still amazing though. UK surf version, sure.
Cease to resist, giving my goodbye.
Sounds nice, but I definitely prefer the album version. The album version is just a lot more immediate. Anyway, we continue. Next track we have I Bleed. Inspired the Sweater song. I could see it, yeah. I think it's mostly like the bass line. Oh yeah, the two vocalists working together is amazing. Damn. Yeah, that song was just as great as I remember it being on stream. That was one of like the most harrowing sounding track up to this point. The way the guitars sounded like they were just, I don't know, it sounded like they were being like fucking choked on the chorus, dude, as the vocals soared into like this high falsetto thing. It just, everything combined in a way that was so like actually impactful and pretty disturbing. Yeah, this album's doing a great job at just keeping up such a disgusting, fucked up atmosphere. And it's staying consistent with that all the way throughout. 9.2. Here Comes Your Man, up next. Oh, it's this? This is a Pixies song? Oh. Oh, yeah, I've heard this a bunch, yeah. He wrote this at 14, Jesus. One of the most commercial songs. Yeah, it's a lot more, I don't want to say it's a lot more like a poppy than the rest of the songs necessarily, but it's definitely a much brighter spot in here. In a unique way, yeah. Sure, that song doesn't have the same, like, disgusting, sort of grimy edge that the rest of the songs have, but what it has in its place is an absolutely gorgeous, melodically fascinating track. Like, I've heard that song before plenty of times. I didn't even know it was a Pixies song. It's so different from the rest of everything that's on here. Like, that song is actually stunning. The bass line is absolutely iconic. The chorus melody is catchy as all hell. The writing is actually, like, pretty damn incredible, considering the fact that he was 14 when he wrote that. If you're gonna have a song that's more commercial, if you're gonna have a song that's, like, meant to be, like, the single on the album, doing it like that's how you do it right there. This song's pretty amazing. I'm surprised at how well it fits in on this album, especially considering the fact that, you know, I'd heard the song before, and the last thing I would expect it to be is a fucking Pixies track. Up next we have Dead. Yeah. Okay. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, it's definitely an intense, pretty disturbing listen, but it doesn't feel like it feels like I could, like, show this to, like, one of my friends who aren't, like, proper music nerds, and they could, like, actually find some enjoyment out of this, you know? Yeah, the fact that this is from 1989 is seriously so impressive. This feels so far ahead of its time. It's kind of, well, not like so far ahead of its time, but it definitely feels like very ahead of its time. Dead is the first song that I am not crazy on. thought the vocal effect was a little awkward. I was not too crazy on what the guitars were doing in terms of like matching the vocal melody as well. And on top of that, it's the first song that I feel like I wish was a little longer, because the fact that it's only 2.5 minutes, it really does feel like the song is just in one ear out the other. You don't really get enough time to sit in it and sort of soak that one up. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad song by any means, but up to this point, it's my least favorite. I'd still give it like a 6 though, because I think that there are still some enjoyable elements. Like again, the very dark, gritty aesthetic still being fantastic. There was that one bit where it went into more like a build up that I thought sounded amazing. But yeah, all in all, that's just I don't know. In comparison to everything else, I just felt like that song was a little, I don't know, just a little rocky, I guess. Oh, next we have Monkey Gone to Heaven.
There was a guy got killed by 10 million pounds of sludge from New York and New Jersey.
It's blending the heaviness with the cleaner sound so well here.
And if the ground's not cold, everything is gonna burn. Well, I'll take turns. I'll get mine.
Was the inspiration from the album cover? I could imagine so, because it's the monkey with the halo, yeah. Even working in a solo in here. See, that's so cool. Wow. That was stunning. Holy shit. Wow. That is like actually the best shit ever right there. That was... Damn. Yeah, that song does such a fantastic job at blending the heaviness and the more angelic elements on the album. It does such a good job at blending the two. That legit strikes such a perfect balance where it's still gritty, it's still grimy, there's still an element of like true depravity and disgust in there, paired with this chorus that is just so serene, that is so soft, that is so easy on the ears and absolutely fucking breathtaking melodically. Yeah, the writing is simple yet so non-generic as well. Yeah, the writing is just fucking fascinating. I don't even fully know what the song was talking about, but I was just fascinated by a lot of the lines in there, particularly this monkey's gone to heaven on the chorus. Yeah, it's effective. It's effective. Easy 10 right there. Best shit ever, okay? Easily the best song so far. That was amazing. Next up we have Mr. Grieves.
Hope everything is alright. Hope everything is alright. Oh, Neptune has only daughter. I believe in Mr. Grieves. Red man in the middle. One that talks like Doolittle. Do you have another opinion? Do you have another opinion?
Whoa, was that tempo shift? Hold on, let me go back. No, it wasn't. I thought it did them for a sec. That actually threw me off. Whoa. Great halftime. See, yes, that is a tempo change. In fact, the tempo is being halved. That's why they call it a halftime. Do I believe in Mr. Grieves after that song? Absolutely. That song just felt like a complete piss take. That legit felt like the band just making a complete fucking joke song in there, and I love that. That song was so ridiculous. The constant switching back and forth between halftime and normal time. I feel like I should know what the opposite of halftime is. I play drums. What's it called when you're not playing in halftime? When you just play, is it just called normal time? I should know this. That's really bad that I don't know that. I fucking play drums. Yeah. The constant switching back and forth out of that was fucking fascinating. The lyrics were just completely nonsensical all the way throughout that. I don't understand a fucking word that guy was saying. And then you also have the sound of that track that is so bouncy and then goes into like this swingy thing when it is in halftime. It just constantly is giving you completely different emotions that it goes through. I don't know, just make it feel like such a fucking drug trip. That one's a flat 9 for me. Regular time? I don't know. I don't know if it's called like regular time or if, like whole time or something. I got no idea. And I should know that. Up next we have Crackity Jones. Crackity Jones is about me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. The first half of that song, I was not crazy on. But then you get to the halfway point and it goes into this instrumental kind of break where it's like just focused on the bass line and then the guitar's kind of going crazy. And once it hit that point, everything clicked into place, okay? I got the bigger picture. That song is still a solid 7 for me because I feel like it is just kind of a difficult one to get into because the beginning is as ridiculous as it is. But I don't know, on the whole, I still think it's a very solid track. Once you hit that halfway point, everything just kind of falls into place and it just becomes such a dumb fun ride for the final 45 seconds or however long it is. Up next we have La La Love You. Almond drum break beat right now. I thought he said chicken butt then for a sec. I had to do a fucking double take. It's like if The Cure and Elvis had a child. Surprisingly accurate combination you made up there. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I was a little hesitant on that song at the very beginning, but as it went along, I kind of actually found myself falling into it a little bit. I give that one a flat 8, I think. Definitely not the like the strongest song on the album. I still think it does have a handful of aspects that I'm not too crazy on, like the fucking ASMR yeah and the whistling. that just kind of like completely turned me off from certain parts of the song. But for the most part, the blending of the acoustics in there sounded fantastic. The drummer doing the vocals there, he's got a very post-punky voice, if you know what I mean. It feels like his voice would fit perfectly in a post-punk band. Yeah. I don't know, I found that song to be overall very pleasant. Still a great track, despite my minor gripes with it. Up next we have number 13, Baby. Is this the longest song on the album? It is. 3 minutes and 51, a staggering length. Weird chord progression. This does feel like the climax of the song. Maybe it's just because I've become accustomed to these songs being so short at this point. This does feel like the climax, but we're only halfway in. It's kind of bringing back some of that like absolutely manic energy that was present more towards like the first couple of songs, particularly on the first track. It's like Monkey on Heaven. Ooh. How's the album so far? Pretty great. Living up to the hype, definitely. Something about that outro, I don't know. It kind of feels like the music censoring the guy going insane. You know, the rest of the song has been fade out 0 out of 10. The rest of the song has been him. Oh, sorry, the first half of the song was him like actually losing his fucking mind, screaming, shouting about legit God knows what. And then you get to this instrumental bit, and it feels like there should be something over it, but there's not. It feels like the guy being censored. And I listen, that's probably me digging. That is very much a reach on my part, but it's a good reach because that means the song is better for it. What if the outro was 7 minutes and the song would be a 10? But it's only, what, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes? So for that reason, it gets a solid 9 for me. Pretty fucking incredible. There Goes My Gun up next. Their longest song is 5 minutes from Less Than Over. The panning on the vocals is really interesting. It's very subtle. Yeah, the producer of this album, he's done a bunch of stuff with like the Foo Fighters. Nice. There Goes My Gun is a nice, simpler little piece coming after number 13, Baby. It feels like the least impactful statement on the album so far, but I feel like it's not trying to be the most impactful, so I don't really mind it. The riffs went hard as hell. The drums gave it this nice, like, big, large marching feel. And on top of that, I think that the fact that it is under 2 minutes is kind of perfect, because I feel like that's a song that could very easily overstay its welcome. That is a solid 2 high 8 for me. Yeah, the producer, he's done a bunch of stuff with Foo Fighters. Yeah, he's also done Counting Crows, which is interesting. Yeah, lots of Foo Fighters. Oh, Jimmy Eat World as well. Anyway, up next we have Hey.
Hey!
Hello.
Been trying to meet you. Door, whore in my bed.
I think I've heard this.
But hey, where have you? What you? Hey, hey, hey,
that snare has so much crack to it, Jesus Christ.
All night, and Mary, ain't you tired of this? Yes, at the mother makes with a bag of rice. What shame, what shame, what shame,
I have heard that song before. Yeah. That chorus is absolutely iconic. Everyone's heard that shit. Works just as well in context there. Another one that I didn't realize was a Pixies song, firstly. Works just as well in context of the album as it does just hearing it on its own. I would give that song a low 9. There's something just so off-putting about that chorus. The way he's... kind of feels like he's singing in a completely, like, intoxicated state. It's sort of giving the impression that he's, like, just completely, like, slipping away at this point. This shit is, like... It doesn't feel like... I don't think this is, like, a concept album or anything, but there's, like, a little bit of, like, subtle storytelling going on in, like, the vocal performances and sort of the way the sound is progressing throughout this. It definitely feels like a complete, full, like, front-to-back, consistent experience that is actually, like, being affected track to track by each other, if that makes sense. It's really impressive, man. This shit is insane so far. Next up we have Silver. It was Michael Jarvis singing over it. Listen, it's completely different. The instrumental isn't my problem with this, it is the vocals. I think the instrumental sounds incredible. I just find the vocals to be a little much. Okay. Song's a 7. It is indeed a low 7 for me. The instrumental on that one is incredible. The western feel that they give it sounds just fucking fantastic, to be honest. That acoustic guitar sounds amazing. The big booming drums on top of it give it such like a heightened drama. I just didn't think the vocals worked there all that well. They were a little bit much, a little bit too trying to come across as like someone going mental. And it got to the point where it was just kind of a little silly, in my opinion. But still, I find the instrumental to be good enough to bring it up to a 7, because that shit sounded amazing at the bare minimum. Final song, Gouge Away. I have heard this song, and I don't remember a thing about it. Lego. Never mind, I do remember this. As soon as that bass line kicked in, I was like, oh wait, no, it's this. Yeah. Yeah. Back to the almost like post-punky side, blending with the heaviness, yeah. Rhythm section is great, yeah. Oh. On the first song, it's talking about someone cutting their eyes. On this one, it's talking about like gouging them out with a spoon. biblical meaning, huh? Chained to 3 pillars as a 3-day party, kill us all with holy fingers. Huh. Putting that in the context of being a closer actually has made me like that song even more. That, like, hearing the rest of the album and seeing like the full circle nature of that track, the way it ties everything back together, and it also almost brings it back to what was going on at the start of the album, like sonically as well, with a lot of the post-punk influences and sounding very like combining that with the heaviness. You know, that's just like, damn. I'm so impressed with this album. I like don't even know what the fuck to say to this. That would like that like met my expectation. Firstly, that last song's a 10. Easy, perfect closer. Good choice not to put that earlier. Yeah, the fact that that is where we end things off is so perfect. Yeah, this shit's incredible. This album absolutely met my my expectations. This is just as good as it says on the tin. You know, it is that good. The production on this is so raw. It is so stripped back. It is so just hollow in the best way possible. 10s should be cry-worthy. 10s are cry-worthy, but they're also songs that I just think are the best they could possibly be. And that song I thought was the best it could possibly be. Yeah, the overall sound of this album being as just disgusting, being as harrowing and truly depraved as it is, and the fact that it's so restrained in its runtime. It's 38 minutes. Had they made the songs all like standard length, this would have been like an hour-long album. And the fact that they didn't do that, the fact that they showed so much restraint and they kept it to be just this tight, under 40-minute experience is perfect. It's literally perfect. This easily could have gone south if it was too long. But man, the flow of this thing is so good. The flow of this thing is amazing. There was only one problem I had with the flow, and it was that I wish Dead was a little longer. That song felt like it could have done with a little bit more meat on the bone to kind of flesh itself out a little bit. But besides that, man, everything here is just... it's just smooth sailing front to back. Yeah, it sounds incredible. You can see the clear influences on like basically everything going on in rock music in like the early mid-90s, from like grunge to even over to like what some of like Weezer were doing as well. Like this shit, it's influences cannot be understated. Like there were multiple songs in here where you could see like, oh, Nirvana just straight up took this, Weezer just straight up took this, you know? Yeah. I am beyond impressed with this album. I am going to crunch the numbers. It's not a 9.9. I'm going to crunch the numbers and we will see what my overall score for the album is.
A few moments later.
9.3, 7.2, 10.
Much later.
Divide that all by 15 and you get yourself an 8.8 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling an 8.8 out of 10 on this album. I would now give that a flat 9. It's not because any of the songs have drastically changed in my eyes, but I think the overall album experience is much more than the sum of its parts. This album's just such a cohesive, fucked up experience, and the best way to listen to it is front to back as a whole, in my opinion. It's amazing. It's just as good as people say it is, okay? It really is that incredible. Haunting, harrowing, fucked up, heavy, but also truly gorgeous at points, and an incredibly rewarding listen as well. If you are able to excuse the fact that the songs are as short as they are and just let the actual like track flow experience sort of sweep you up, that's where this album finds its strong suit. Absolutely. Yeah, this shit is insane. This shit is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I absolutely lived up to the hype.